Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. Brian, Mr. Smith, kitchen, as always. And it's Wednesday, so I thought we would do a dinner. And tonight, I thought we'd do something that's kind of quick and easy. All the time looking for different kinds of recipes. This one just sounded, in a way it sounded good, but in a way it sounded interesting. And I'm sure I've had it before. It's not a new meal as far as just like people making them. Oh God, the camera's crooked. But it's a cheeseburger casserole. And it's basically, it's the most wide open recipe money can buy. You can put whatever you want in it, on it, you know, whatever. But I mean, there's like 1,000 different options to it. But it sounded good, and I'm going to sort of follow the recipe on it. The casserole itself I will, but the sauce is we're going to make a burger sauce also, which I don't think I've ever heard it called a burger sauce, but you can also use it as a Russian dressing or like McDonald's with other Big Macs, things like that. Not quite a Thousand Island, not quite a Russian dressing, but a good burger dressing. It's all your condiments in one, basically. But we're going to make that. We're going to make a cheeseburger casserole. And it's something that's not going to take very long to make. And I think it's going to taste really good. So, that being said, if you're new, welcome. This is your first video. I hope you get something out of this video. I hope you get check out some of my other videos and content. If you're returning, thank you. To all my new subscribers, hello, welcome, and thank you. Yeah, and as far as subscribing goes, don't forget the box down below. Right next to it is the notification bell. Let you know my videos come out. Try to put them out every Wednesday and Thursday. Sometimes you get an extra video. Sometimes I don't get an extra video in. Sometimes very rarely do I ever miss a week. But anyhow, thumbs up, thumbs down. They're just as important as the subscribe button. They both do something really cool, and that's put the videos out in other people's algorithms, you know, which just helps us grow a community, which is amazing. And then thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. Rush. But it helps put us in other people's algorithm and helps our community grow. And that's, I think, pretty cool. So, that being said, comments are also cool. Just be nice. It's okay to disagree. Just be nice. That's the only thing I ask. That being said, let's get down to the counter and we'll get started. We're going to start by making the sauce, and then we'll move on to making the hamburger part of it. And then the third part will be the top for the casserole part. All right? It'll be like the bread. So, hold on one second. We'll get down to the stovetop. All right? Hold on. Okay, we're down here to the stovetop. I got stuff sitting on the countertop. And we're going to use the stovetop, so I took the cover off. But yeah, first thing we're going to do is make our burger sauce. All right? And it's pretty straightforward. There's very few moving parts. And it is literally everything you would put on just any hamburger. So the first thing we're going to start out with is a cup of mayo. Get it in the bowl, and all we're going to do is take these ingredients, put them in the bowl, and mix them together. But it'll be, I think, fantastic. I did change this from the recipe I found. The original recipe that I found was on a Pioneer Woman, her website, and it was like 90 quick, easy dishes weeknight meals you could make. And this one struck my fancy. So we got our cup of mayo. I know there's probably a bunch of you out there that could have just guesstimated that and it'd been perfect. I'm not one of those guys when it comes to most things. Yeah, after all the time I've been cooking, and I've been cooking a lot longer than I've been baking, I still struggle to be able to see it in my head without having a measuring cup. So after the 1 cup of mayo, we're going to put in two tablespoons of ketchup. This is a half a tablespoon. I grabbed the wrong one. But we're going to put in 2 of these. Then we're going to put in, it calls for 1 tablespoon of sweet pickle relish. Now, I am changing this up a little bit, and I am going to use 2 different relishes. But first, let me find my tablespoon. Oh, there it is. Haha, excuse me. All right, so instead of using a tablespoon of or 2 tablespoons of sweet pepper relish. I'm going to use a tablespoon of sweet jalapeno relish, and then I'm going to use a tablespoon of a sweet pepper relish. These are both relishes that me and Chris make, and they're really, really good, and it's some of our favorites. We eat this stuff on everything and in everything, and especially on a hamburger. So put that in there. To that, we're going to add a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, which I used my half a teaspoon, but that's all right. I'm going to give it my best guess. I'm going to say that's probably a little more than. There we go. That'll work. Half teaspoon of paprika. And a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Which that one I'm definitely going to guess at. And that's about there. So in our bowl we have 1 cup of mayo, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of sweet pickle, you do 2 tablespoons of sweet pickle relish, or whatever relish you prefer. Like I said, I'm using a tablespoon of each of the jalapeno relish and the sweet pepper relish. I've also got a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika in this, and you could just as easily add hot sauce to this. You know, I didn't, only because I got the jalapenos in there, and we're not the only ones eating this. We've got always got company, so yeah, we got to think of them also. We can always add hot sauce to it when we eat it. Alright, so we got that. We're just going to stir this all up. And there's our burger sauce. Right there. It's got a nice little pink hue to it. See how it tastes. I've never had burger sauce before. Tastes like a hamburger. It really does taste like I don't even know how, yeah, like Russian dressing, or the dressing for a Reuben. That's really good. Let me get a bowl real quick so we can put that in there. Alright, so get this in a bowl, set it in the fridge to chill, and then I'm going to clean up real quick, and when I come back, we'll start making the main event. Hey guys, got everything rearranged, put the burger sauce in the fridge. Now we're moving on to making the hamburger portion. So we're going to turn our skillet on. If you're not using cast iron, you should always still warm up your skillet a little bit. But we're going to put a tablespoon of oil in our pan, and we're going to let that warm up. So once that's warmed up and it's doing its little dance and smoking a little, and we're up to temperature, we're going to go ahead and throw about a half a cup, 1 medium-sized yellow onion, medium to small-sized yellow onion, or a half cup in here, and we're going to get those along with a few other ingredients, the hamburger and some butter, and we're going to start frying that up. Okay, we've got our oil is starting to smoke a little. We've got a little rippling going on there, so now we're just going to add our hamburger in here first. Now I'm using an 80-20. You want to try to use as lean as possible. If you don't, like a 90-10 would be ideal, or even an 85-15, but all I have was 80-20. But if that's all you have, or you've got the 70-30 or 73-27 or whatever it is, that's fat to meat ratio, just drain off the grease, as much as you possibly can. And to this, we're going to add our onions, just like so. And we're going to add a little bit of salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon worth of salt. So we'll go ahead and get our 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there. And that way it helps bring out the flavors of the hamburger and help the onions sweat. But we're going to go ahead and cook this until the hamburger's browned and the onions are soft. But it's going to take about 8 minutes, maybe 10 at most, depending on the temperature you have your skillet at. Okay, so our hamburger is almost brown. I've already drained the most of the grease off of it. I left a little bit in there just for, because we can. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a half a teaspoon of granulated garlic. So not garlic salt, because I put salt in it earlier. But if you want salt, you most certainly can. And I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of oregano. Put those in there, and then we're just going to let this cook for a couple more minutes. Let those couple seasonings take hold in there, and let their flavor bloom. Their spices wake up with oils. So we'll give this like 2 more minutes, and then we will move on. All right, so to move on to the next step, I went ahead and turned the skillet off, and we're just going to throw our product here in a bowl right quick. Okay, so I got my hamburger out of the skillet and went ahead and put it in pie pans. Now, if you're using a cast iron skillet and you're just making the 1 pound of hamburger, I'm making 2 pounds because I'm doubling up. Like I said, we feed a fair amount of people at our house, and I know everybody likes to go back for seconds. So, but you could literally just cook it in the cast. If it's an oven safe skillet, you can just cook it in your skillet. You don't even have to take it out of the skillet. Plus, I think it'd look better in a pan. So, anyhow, we got the meat's cooked with its onions and spices. One thing I did forget to mention to tell you to put into that is 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. You will have already seen anything at the bottom of the screen telling you to add that also. And then you go ahead and put it in your pie pan. But anyhow, I digress. We are moving on to the top of this. So I've got 2 large eggs in here, and they're at room temp. When you bake, everything should be at room temp for several different reasons, but in this case, I'm just doing them at room temp because it makes it easier to break them up, which is what we want to do. So we're going to break that up. I'm going to move my cheese out of the way so I can read the recipe. We are going to whisk the eggs, and I'm just going to beat them up, and then we're going to take 1 cup of buttermilk. And the buttermilk you do want at room temperature. It even said that in the original recipe. I've got 2 cups here because I'm getting ready to make another top for that other one after we mix this one together. 1 cup of buttermilk, and we are going to add a tablespoon of melted butter. Go ahead and get that in there. And then we're just going to give this a good mix up. Okay, so we got that good to go. So to this, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Right? Yep. And get that in there. Then we're going to add a half a cup of flour. Alright, and then we're just going to beat this together until it's nice and smooth. Yeah, and pourable. If you happen to have a box of Bisquick, it's pretty much the same thing. You can use the Bisquick as a cheat. So this recipe originally came to be from Bisquick, the makers of Bisquick. It was on the back of a box, and there's just been like a million variations done to it. We're just not using Bisquick, we're making our own. Okay, we've got our batter done, just like such. And we're just going to simply take it and we're going to pour it over the top of this. Like this. And if I didn't tell you, back when we were either just right about halfway through cooking the hamburger, we want to set our oven temperature at 400 degrees. I know I am just something horrible about doing that. Alright, we got that poured on there like that. And for that, I apologize. I do that, I know, in many of my videos. I always remember to tell you at some point. But back when we were about halfway through cooking the hamburger, we should have set the oven to 400 degrees. I did. I just forgot to tell you. Alright, so very last thing that we're going to put on here, cheese. Use cheese of your choice. I'm using a sharp cheddar. You could use a Colby, a Monterey, whatever cheese your heart desires. If you like sliced American cheese on your burgers, throw it on here. Why not? I mean, it is a cheeseburger casserole, so you should be able to put what cheese you like on it, right? All right, let me get this other one put together real quick, and when I come back, we'll throw them in the oven and talk about it for how long. Okay, so we got both of those done. We're just gonna throw them in the oven here real quick, and then we'll bake them. So to bake these, or bake yours, I'm assuming you're only gonna make one and not two. But we're gonna stick it in the oven in the middle right, right in the center, and we're going to bake these at 400 degrees. 400 degrees for 25 minutes. So what we're looking for them to be done is kind of like a cheesecake. Not only should the cheese be a nice golden brown on top, but there should be no jiggle in the sauce. The sauce should the sauce we just poured over it, the Bisquick or the biscuit mix, should be solid. There should be no wiggle. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer for 25 minutes, and when I come back, we'll take them out of the oven, talk about if it took longer or less time, and take a look at them. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so 25 minutes in the oven, but see how I shake it? It doesn't move. Now, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is a bubbling around the sides. And the cheese is a nice golden brown. That's what we're looking for. No, shake it, no shaking, no jiggling, no nothing. That means our biscuit mix is good. Our hamburger was obviously done when we put it on there. And our cheese is a nice golden brown. So now, like any protein, I'm going to let this sit for about 5-10 minutes. Let everything calm down, relax, take a load off. And then that way, we can try a piece. So let these set for a short bit. And when I come back, we'll cut into it and try a piece. All right, be right back. All right, we let them cool for enough that I can at least touch them and manhandle them. They're still pretty warm though, that's for sure. So directions say cut it like you're cutting a pie. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna cut it like we're cutting a pie. I mean, it should hold true. I mean, really, if the Bisquick cooked all the way through like it should have, and I'm gonna guess it did, judging by that cut, it should hold together just like a pie. It went all around the hamburger. There we are right there. That looks amazingly good. I was thinking about all the different things you could add to this. You could do like a Philly cheesesteak pie casserole like this, cheeseburger pie. You could do a garden version. Just a million and ones, whatever you like on your hamburgers, really. Throw some avocados in there, make it like a Mexican hamburger pie. Maybe? I don't know, sounds good. But there we are. There's our end result right there. Like I said, it looks really good. It's holding together really well. I got a spoon nearby, so let's try it with the spoon. I think it's really weird that it held together like a pie and it doesn't have a bottom crust. Even though I know why, it just looks weird. All right, let's give it a shot and see how she tastes. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I am going to get the pickles and the sauce that we made and put some of that on there and see what it tastes like with the sauce. Now, as far as toppings for this go, you could put just about anything you want on it. Really, you're looking at a hamburger, basically, well, a cheeseburger. Now, I will say, next time I make this, because believe you me, I will make this again. It tastes really good. I think I would put a little more salt in it, or some pepper. The original recipe didn't call for any, and I did put the garlic in it, so I thought that would make the difference. But I got some of the sauce on there, and a pickle. You can put tomato and lettuce on it. That would be good. Just dice up a tomato and throw it on top. Yeah. The tartness of the pickle goes really well with the sweetness of the burger sauce, and I can taste the jalapeno in it. That's really, really good. If you like hamburgers, or cheeseburgers as the case may be, this is definitely a doable meal. Well, we're siding this tonight with some French fries and some ketchup, or we may just use this sauce because this sauce is really good for French fries too. Yeah, ooh, that's good. But you can do French fries with this, and like I said, you can put a little mustard on this, ketchup, hot sauce, lettuce, diced tomato, a few more onions. Well, I don't know about a few more onions. It's got a fair amount of onions in it. But you could top it just like a hamburger. Like I said, I'm going to side this with some fries. You could do onion rings. But the point is that this took, no time at all to make. Easy weeknight meal. If I wouldn't have gabbed and paid attention and just cooked this, it would have taken about 35, 40 minutes, only because it takes 25 minutes in the oven. The rest of it was just simply brining up the hamburger with the onion, throwing in some spices, mixing together a little bit of flour and buttermilk, and you're good to go. All the same. So, give this a try. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below if you want. Or if you got a similar recipe or, a thought on what you would add or you would take away, let me know. Or if you didn't like it, let me know. I'm just curious either way. And because I forgot to tell you at the beginning, if you don't want to leave a comment here, you can check us out on Facebook. We've got Mr. Smith's Kitchen Facebook group. You can leave comments there. You can share recipes there. It's open to the public. Anybody can join. I don't even ask questions to, allow you into the group. You just join. Just be known that if you're not nice, I will banish you from the neighborhood. But that being said, tomorrow we're still going to do potato candy, which is just it's a pinwheel candy that we're going to make. It has 3 ingredients. It's powdered sugar, peanut butter, and potatoes. But it's good. My dad used to make it for me all the time when I was a kid. It was like a holiday treat for us for Christmas. And I think you guys will like it. I know I will. I haven't had it in probably 20 years, but I can remember exactly how it tastes. It's a whole lot of sweetness going on, but it's so good. So anyhow, till tomorrow, I love you. I love you very much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I wouldn't say it if I didn't. Tell somebody else you love them. And you love them very much. It's going to make their day a whole lot better. Especially if you take them some of this cheeseburger pie. They're going to be like, oh, wow. Thanks for sharing with me. You really do care. This is really good. So, tomorrow, potato candy. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.